What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. I could have sworn that not too long ago, disgraced former Teen Mom 2 star Jenelle Evans took to her TikTok page to claim to have custody of all of her children. Well, according to court records pulled by the US Sun, that was a lie because now it turns out that Jace Evans is currently no longer under Jenelle Evans's custody. In fact, he is currently under the custody of CPS. And this comes after he ran away from David and Jenelle for the third time. He allegedly told authorities that he would continue to run away forever if he were forced to live back on the swamp with either of these two creatures. And so now, thankfully for Jace, it seems as though the authorities have been listening to him. So they've stripped this woman of custody of him. And although his custody is not immediately back with Barbara, she is the one who is able to house him for the time being as they work through this entire situation. It just makes a photo that we saw of Jace and Barbara that was circulating over TikTok the other day all the more glorious. Look at how happy both of them look with the news. I can't even imagine how depressed Jace was living on the swamp with David and Jenelle. Now let's get into the court records pulled by the US Sun, shall we? As I mentioned, Barbara doesn't automatically have custody of him. All of that stuff is still kind of being worked out because remember, the reason that she had sent him to Jenelle was because there were some complications with him in her home. So CPS wants to work through this situation slowly to make sure that they're coming to a conclusion that is in the best interest of both Barbara and Jay. So let's get into what they say. Barbara actually petitioned a North Carolina court to regain custody of Jace last week amid allegations that David assaulted Jace before he ran away for the third time. CPS does have custody of Jace right now, but Barbara was approved to care for him for the time being after a court hearing that played out on Wednesday. A source familiar with the situation added that Jenelle is not allowed to see or speak to Jace unless the teen himself initiates contact, and David is banned from any contact whatsoever with him. I'm sorry, you guys, but how big of a failure of a parent do you have to be for the courts to say that you are not allowed to have any kind of contact with your child? Like, it's wild. And the fact that it's your child that has been begging for this to be put in place, he's been running away consistently, trying to get away from you. And this is how things end up. It really looks as though this is another situation of David being a trash ass person and then Jenelle choosing David over her son, because to me, it makes no sense that she is not denouncing David and rushing to be by her alleged son's side. To me, I just can't understand it. Do you remember how Jace he spent a little over a week in the hospital? Jenelle never once visited him. And I had been suspecting that it had to do with a certain sort of an order in place. And now it's been verified. She is not even allowed to speak with him. She doesn't seem disgusted by the guy that she's got, laying up in her house, paying not a single damn bill and estranging her from her job and her children and everything. Like, I cannot wrap my head around this. It truly is stunning. Just the fact that your son has claimed that your husband, and apparently, allegedly, Jenelle witnessed all this go down. Remember, in the initial reports by The Sun and TMZ and the Ashley, they were saying that the alleged incident where David put the paws on Jace supposedly took place outside in front of somebody's home, and that somebody has Ring camera footage of what went down. And not only that, but that Jenelle was there. So to me, the fact that she would be there, she could witness this go down and still go home to David. It just makes my skin crawl. Just a mess all the way around. The US Sun reached out to Jenelle to get comment from her about how she feels losing custody of her child yet again, and Barbara having custody of him, despite Jenelle's best attempts to alienate Barbara from her son Jace. And so, guess what Janelle's representative had to say? Jace is visiting with Barbara. They won't even acknowledge that Barbara is currently the trusted custodian. How incredibly petty she is to refuse to acknowledge and to thank her mother for stepping up where she dropped the ball yet again when it comes to Jace. Absolutely unbelievable, guys. I truly cannot with these people, to be honest with you. And mind you, Jenelle, girl, you only just got custody of Jace in March and you're already losing it again in October. Let me pull out my fingers to count how many months are between March and October. March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August to September, September to October. Only 7 months. You managed to keep custody of this kid for only 7 months before you ruined it again. Like, this is bad. This is terrible, even for you. Guys, I truly am at a loss of words here. I just don't understand how little regard you have to have for your own child to allow for all of this to happen, to allow for some random unemployed man to terrorize him to the point where he continuously runs away because he would rather be found in the woods by a wild animal or starving or whatever, anything could happen out there, right? Than to be around your dusty ass man. Like, how do you let this happen? How can you live with yourself? And not only that, but while all of this is going on, she and David have been on a full blown social media propaganda campaign full of lies where she claims she's got custody of all those kids. Not true. And just that the press is lying, even though everything continues to be verified. In fact, I'm going to do another video about how Jenelle tried to file another restraining order against Barbara. And in this restraining order, she admits that she didn't even know where Jace was while he was in the hospital. How do you let days pass by and you're so nonchalant? You are on TikTok while your child is in the hospital after allegedly being assaulted by your husband, and you have no clue and you have no sense of urgency, and the husband's still in the house alive? I do not understand. This is just insane to me, you guys. It truly, truly is. But we will get into the rest of that in a separate video. But for the time being, please let me know how you feel about Barbara petitioning to regain custody of Jace. Like, she is just honestly a saint to be doing this at her age, right? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a long uphill battle. She should be relaxing, vibing, and thriving at this age, but she's got to raise a teenager because of her incompetent, negligent daughter and her daughter's unemployed, allegedly abusive husband. Like, that is sad. They're going to have another hearing soon just to see how things are going with this current custody arrangement, if both and Jace and Barbara are happy or anything like that. And then they'll move forward based off of that. And again, I don't know how long this order is going to stay in place where neither Jenelle nor David are allowed to speak to Jace unless spoken to. Imagine you cannot speak unless spoken to your child legally. That has got to be absolutely humiliating. But you know what? These two absolutely deserve it. And more importantly, Jace deserves this. I think this is one of the greatest things that can be done for him. And I think that this also will stop Jenelle from being able to use the legal system to harass her mother. She can't claim to want X, Y, and Z for this child that she no longer has custody of again, and she's not even allowed to speak to unless spoken to. Girl, talk about a deadbeat parent. This is truly stunning, incredible. I have never seen an arrangement like it. Let me know what you think about all of this, you guys, in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.